Welcome back to Asart with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated and go to asart.space for all the audio and video links. This has been a fun series. We jumped in kind of late. We were like, oh, John, you got to watch it. I finished it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't come in late. John
was late to the benefit of the doubt.
John was late to the show again. I mean, I've gone through eight seasons of Game of Thrones. Then I did multiple seasons of The Boys, and now I had to splurge,
Yes, what a great thing to splurge.
Yes.
Like, we splurged this, we splurged The Boys. You've been splurging a lot, or binging, splurging, whatever you feel like saying. So now we're going to break down some VFX shots.
And again, as with all of our visual effects shots, usually it's just taking our best educated guesses at how it's being done. Yes. A lot of these, we haven't checked for Raised by Wolves if they have making of. So maybe they're out there. If you guys have links, that'd be fun for us to be able to see.
We'll check afterwards.
A lot of really
we like going in blind.
Yes, we like going in blind, just trying to give some people like The Witcher especially some fun visual effects breakdowns. People are like, that's not how they did it. I'm like, well, yeah, we didn't go research it beforehand. So this is just our best guesses. And it's fun when you get it wrong. Sometimes you're like, wow, they did it this way. It's really, really fun stuff.
If you guys like this video, we have tons of other VFX breakdowns from basic stuff like Parasite, where it's not really like in your face VFX, to The Witcher, to His Dark Materials, to Mandalorian, which was cool because we talked about the whole production stuff. So subscribe to our channel, find the playlist. We're going to be posting a lot of VFX breakdowns in the upcoming multiple years. We're going to keep doing this.
And a lot of fun stuff. And so with Raised by Wolves, do you think this had the same budget as other HBO material, or do you think this is a little bit lower?
I don't know. I feel like it had the same budget as Watchmen. All right, so let's jump into it, John.
Yeah.
So break down, tell us what's about to happen. This is his favorite part of the show.
No, this is not my favorite part.
Hold on, it's better best, right?
Yeah, better best. So it's not bad by any means, but this is probably the effect that, I wouldn't say annoying me, but that it bothered me each time I saw it, is maybe it's just too clean. It's so smooth the motion. So it's funny. I guess I just like to complain because if shots are too shaky, I'm like, too much camera shake. But in this, any shot where she's a necromancer, she's just flying around, I feel like it's so smooth and perfect. It's almost too much.
Too much for John.
Too clean. Too clean, I guess.
For John. He's a dirty boy.
All right. So anyway, Nick.
You know what it is? I just think we're seeing a gritty, like Blade Runner, Star Wars universe, and this is just so clean, where it's like the prequels floating around Star Wars. It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit, right? Yeah, like it's too clean and pristine, like compared to everything else we're seeing. We're like in Joshua Tree, out in the desert somewhere. Look at this guy. He's like covered with dirt and blood and everything, and she's just too clean and crisp.
So
it doesn't fit in.
So do you think this is just makeup and special effects for her act? So my guess is that
this is all 3D.
Oh, really? So my thought is this: she does look 3D-ish, but the camera move, I'm like, well, is this a motion control camera where it's? So if you guys are not sure what a motion control camera, that was popularized and brought back. It existed before, but Star Wars really brought it back in 1977, where they have these models and they don't move the models; they move the camera around the models to make it look like the.
So you think this is a model?
Well, the camera moves and how smooth it's a model, or I mean, it moves around. I was thinking maybe she is makeup and things like that. I mean, there might be a combination depending on the shot. But so, what do you think? You think that's all 3D?
I think she's 3D. I think it's cheaper.
That could, I mean, especially
once you have a model, she's not even moving. Like all you're gonna do is
probably
you'll have it on the spline. It probably is
like depending on shot. This is probably just a 2D image, and they're just animating that because you don't get close enough where you can actually see all the detail of her. Well, you see a little bit of shift in lighting there, but I think that could be just a 2D shot. 3D. You don't really? I thought that could have been a still image.
See, now that's hand animated.
See, now this is really detailed 3D animation. Yeah. All right, let's see.
Oh, we should have moved that earlier.
Yeah, I know.
That's 3D.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
is she going?
She's putting her leg down
in front and behind of that background right there? It looks like she goes behind that area.
Oh, is that like a reflection, or is that a crack on the screen?
You guys see what we're talking about? We're talking about right here. It looks like that shadow is already on the screen, and then her legs kind of go behind that.
Oh, and it pops forward.
Yeah, it pops forward. So.
Better best. We don't know what the budget was for this.
Well, but the thing is, when you're watching the shot, we didn't notice that when we were watching.
And then
the episode.
even when we're in reviews or dailies, sometimes you'll have tons of VFX artists there. Overworked, long days. They're just like, yeah, it looks good. Next.
Looks good. Next. So when I was in school, and working in the industry, it was all about perfection because this is going to be put on the theaters and this is going to be put on Blu-ray and they're going to be going frame by frame. And obviously you can go frame by frame, but it's harder when it's streaming to get to that point. And at some point, so Gareth Edwards is one of my favorite directors because he started out as a visual effects artist / director. He did all the effect shots for his own movies. And
is that the same guy from Deadpool?
No,
because that was also a visual effects guy.
Yeah, he worked at. He was the head of the studio that did all the visual effects.
Anyways, we're jumping. Let's get back.
So Gareth Edwards, he was saying, you know what? For how quick the shot is, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to work in the context of the shot, which was directly opposed to how it's taught. But in this case, the shot goes by so quick; it's a small amount of the screen. Yeah. You need to worry about that. So that's kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Good job. No, it looks beautiful. Yeah. The only thing I have to say, I just feel like it's not grungy enough for this universe because everything looks beat up.
Yeah.
And that just looks so clean, but maybe that's part of the character thing. Like she's so evolved and above you know.
And when you see the cities and stuff, like, you know, it kind of fits the description. So you think even these shots where it's kind of closer up of her, you think
that's Campion.
But you think these shots, it's a 3D model.
Yes. See.
Interesting. So
she's not even in that shot. That shot. Yeah, it's totally 3D.
It looks 3D, but I'm like, is that makeup?
It's 3D, John. We're moving on. Next shot.
All right. So this was an interesting series of shots because this is probably a mix of 2D, 3D, and kind of
everything. Comping to
2D. Yeah.
The puppet warp tool. I'm joking. Not the puppet warp tool. Ooh, that's beautiful though, huh?
So do you think this is like 2D effect? You think it's 3D rendered? I mean, it is.
Or do you think it's just a fractal noise with a glow?
Well, it's not fractal. Well, if you slow down the frame rate on fractal noise, it would jump around like that, I guess.
With a glow?
Yeah.
It could be.
It could be. Yeah.
It could also be like some kind of electricity effect with a fractal noise on top.
Yeah, because it's not really a displacement. It's just more the actual animated.
It's true.
Stuff. You're getting a little bit. You're getting a little bit of displacement.
So that's probably practical with the mirror, but it looks awesome.
Now for the interactive lighting, you think they're pulling Luma keys and trying to bring up certain spots, or just screening it on top, or plus it on top?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, kind of a fun shot though.
That's a beautiful shot.
All right, so here we're getting into these guys. All right, so Nick, what do you think's going on?
I think this looks a lot better because you see the skin cracking and stuff. I feel like it fits in the universe better right now. But what's going on here?
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. It could be easily just like rotor shapes over the body, or you know what I mean, like selecting what's being revealed at the.
So this kind of reminds me of Mystique and X-Men, where they kind of have the reveal and things like that.
I mean, hers was almost like feathers flipping over there.
Yeah, well, in the newer version, in the older version, did she have that as well?
I think so. I think it was like a coin flipping kind of effect.
Yeah, it kind of had that animated
But this is still very beautiful.
So do you think this is? So we get to have some camera shake, but that could be post camera shake.
I think that's post camera.
Do you think just matched up still images, like they painted what it would look like? Or do you think this is 3D
What's going on with the sack around her neck? Did that change? No, like go.
Did it change at all? I'm like, that's her eyes, Nick.
Is that just an overlay though? Is that just that's just the overlay effect on it.
Let's see. So let's see what we have going on here. Well, her face definitely moves. So either they're tracking that stuff on, or they did an object track with the 3D body, and then maybe they're revealing it, or they could have done some masks on the 3D model to render out like image IDs to blend together. What do you think?
Looks beautiful. I still sticking with it. Well, what I would do if I had the overlay, I don't know though, because it's a cool effect, like it's melting.
Of course, we have the Black Knight back here from Monty Python, so
it's only a flesh wound.
Only a flesh wound.
And you have his umpire behind him. Hey, batter. It's like a catcher.
So we get a little bit better of a look here. I mean, that definitely looks like a 2D effect, just the way it's kind of moving.
It's like tracked.
Kind of bleeding, yeah.
I'm so curious. I mean, they must have had the
but
shape
we're having
cut out
interactive light, so I feel like we have a render.
But that's like an overlay, though. I feel like it's probably like an ad or something.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
what's going on?
It works well though. Like these series of shots, I thought looked pretty cool.
That's kind of creepy looking.
With
the eyeball following it and everything. Oh, you know what? It's going off in pieces. Oh, I see. So they have a section that's being cut off here, and it looks like it melts away. And then like the next section is the forehead. And see how it's like
doing
by
different patches.
Yeah.
And I thought.
See how there's even like they left some parts of it. Oh,
and I thought they kind of did. They repeat the footage, like loop it. So let's go back to the beginning of this shot because it looks like she goes forward and then back and then forward and then back. Oh no, that looks like normal.
There's your boy, Marcus. I think you got to skip a little bit more. I just kind of left the whole sequence in there.
Good job, jerk.
There you go.
So it's kind of more the same. You tell me if we should move on.
Look at that ear shot. Let's keep going. Keep going. I want to see how much the ear matches the model. Or not the model, but the character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ear looks pretty good. I wonder if they did a 3D scan of her face to base the...
Oh, they could have done a basic 3D scan since it's not too detailed.
Just for the model itself, too.
You get a big section on the cheek there.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff.
And then let's skip towards the end, like once she gets her powers back. There's a cool shot, I think, of like when the dirt... Yeah, there it is. Ooh, okay, so cool. What do you think that is? You think they just like have something like a tarp underneath the ground and they throw it up in slow motion? They
so film it in slow motion shot, right? Yeah, so I know that on the movie Armageddon, when they had the asteroid hit and all the dust gets shot up, they had like this big... almost like I think they were almost like carpets, and they put dust and evenly split up, and then they had compressed air, I think, just shooting up. No, there were pipes, and they had holes in the pipes, and that shot it up, and then they did that at slow speed, and you got this cool undulation. This is kind of like that, what was it, Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker, or whatever, when she touches the ground, and you see the floating piece. That was 3D, but what do you think here? Do you think this is practical? Or
Yeah,
do
I think
it's
all practical.
Well? Which looks really, really cool. Like
That's 3D.
This is 3D, yeah, because you have stuff kind of just floating upwards. But the first shot, yeah, probably was actually real. So it's cool here. They're going on a shot by shot basis. Okay, what's the easiest way to approach this? What's the best for budget?
Yeah, now the rocks start flying. She becomes a Jedi Knight. It's Rey all over again, moving rocks.
Really, really cool stuff. That looks really, really cool. Yeah.
There's your boy Marcus.
He said it's my boy every time. I don't understand. Like, what's going on here?
It's an inside joke with myself. Yeah. We're gonna make a shirt. There's your boy Marcus, John.
All right, what do you think? This is 3D? Yeah, looks like it's 3D. Yeah. It's funny. You can. I feel like 3D a lot of times is just a little bit brighter than it would be otherwise. I don't know. Really cool stuff though. Nice variety of shots.
3D. Just kidding.
A little mixture of stuff. They might be layering in more on top of what they already have.
That's 3D, but that's cool, huh?
Yeah, it looks cool. So what about her? I mean, her face looks completely real. Do you think they have her on wires?
Yeah, I think she's
up?
On wires.
Wires, yeah, that's cool. And just layered in with 3D dirt and stuff. That's a really cool shot. That looks really pretty.
Yeah,
and
they
then we're just kind of revealing
morphs,
you can see the hair doesn't line up perfectly there as far as the head. So they're probably just animating on the model that they object tracked on the wire shot.
Yeah, the head's really off, huh?
I mean, if we look at it real speed. I mean, you can't really notice it too much at real speed, so they probably just said, all right, this works perfectly fine for the context of what we're doing.
I would have passed it.
Yeah.
You know what I used to say? No one's ever going to frame it. No, who's going to waste their time doing that? That's what I used to say, karma, man.
Oh, man, that's funny.
I'm not telling anyone the movies I worked on, or at least the shots.
Let's see.
Rip my shots apart.
Yeah, so here you can definitely kind of figure out she's 3D. Like you can even actually see like kind of the texture bump and displacement you would get. That looks kind of a little bit more 3D there. Certain shots I thought maybe were motion control, but it's looking more 3D.
Looks fantastic. She has like a weird helmet now. Does she have that helmet before?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the.
Well, that's cool.
So let's go back.
Well, we have a lot more to cover. We got to cover the snakes and stuff.
I could cut out stuff. So what do you think about the rock exploding here? Do you think that's all 3D? I think that might be footage of a rock right there, the way it's kind of blending in, do you think? Or what do you think?
Something looks off.
I mean, it's really blurred because it's supposed to be exploding really fast.
Or something like it's off with color or something.
Yeah, I think because they tried to.
It's not even getting dark when it goes under the rocks.
They did like a transfer mode on it. I think that was actually real footage of something. And the slow motion aspect of this looks a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's like they're really messing with the framing.
Yeah, and the frame rate too. You can kind of see they're kind of chopping around a little bit. But at full speed, you don't really...
Did you see any wires on that last shot?
Oh, did you?
Did you think they left any wires in when they were pulling them?
Let's see.
Look like the ground's moving a little bit behind him. No, good job.
Well, they might have just done a clean plate too and put a 2D clean plate. Do you think they hand animated that helmet right there? How it's toppling and moving and stuff? That could have just been a 2D layer that they just...
No, it looks like it, the helmet itself. Fun stuff.
Yeah, cool stuff.
There's your boy Marcus.
I'm going to believe in every
time. There she goes.
Yep. All right, yeah, 3D model. So it's just...
There she goes.
So do you think our final theory is just a little bit too clean of a 3D model?
I think that's what's happening.
It might be the camera animation that's throwing me off too, because whenever the camera and she's flying, it's just super clean.
That fake tree is just...
Yeah, fake tree.
All right, John's favorite shot, everyone.
All right, so Nick, did you have any idea this was coming?
That's so funny. That's a mouse. That's the mouse I left doing the screen record.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, where is there two of them?
Whoopsies! All right, let's do this. This is John's favorite scene. He says he dreams about weird nightmares about barfing up snakes now. John hates anything he's scared of anything with an S.
Yes.
Sharks, snakes, spiders, scorpions,
and
splinters.
Syringes.
I said splinters.
Splinters, I don't like those either. Those aren't fun. Yeah, so the S's get me.
Shakes, like
milkshakes. I'm kind of hungry now. All right, so we got the yucky milk.
Beautiful shot.
So we might go back and do a
gargling.
Video
okay, so she's gargling. Okay, what do you think is happening here?
No, that looks like 3D liquid.
That's totally 3D liquid.
Yeah, that's 3D liquid for sure.
How else would they do that? They would have like a ball they're pulling out or something. That would.
No, I mean just.
I'm just saying, like, how would they do it? Like, how would they do that practically? You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're not going to stick a whole snake.
I know. Because you can still see the remnants of her gargle.
Her gargle?
Right? Because they had her gargling.
The remnants of her gargle.
You think her lips are fake too? I think her lips might be fake.
Oh, her lips could be fake. That's true. Yeah.
I think her lips, and maybe even, yeah, no, her lips are fake because her nose isn't moving too much, huh? Yeah, I think her lips were fake on that. That would technically it would make it easier to do the the liquid coming down the chin.
Oh, it's such a gross shot. That's so disgusting.
So there,
the lighting is pretty spot on.
You can see the difference though of the water she already has on her chin
here
compared to the
This is like much more viscous and thick, and you have a hard line here, which is kind of the weird part about that. It's just kind of a hard line.
Oh wait, you're saying the snake's not the weird part? I'm
saying, it's not a snake.
It's pretty normal.
Oh, it makes me just. It looks so gross.
A leech.
Yeah, it's so disgusting. So we're probably going to compare these shots to Prometheus because you get very similar shots in Prometheus. Really cool. I mean, it works well. You can tell they probably spent a lot of money on these series of shots.
Snake look kind of not composited fully in the. But then again, it's just so weird. Watch, keep going. I think it's very similar in the next shot too. I mean, you know what's so tough about this? Snakes don't fly. You know what I mean? So in our mind,
God,
I know. I mean, so in our mind, like, you know, it almost looks like it's like a snake swimming in water or zero gravity.
Or if like going over sand dunes and stuff like that, in which it looks almost not real when you see the sand snakes and they're just going over the dunes.
Or even when you see snakes or eels in water, it still looks.
See, bizarre. If I saw a snake on the sand dunes, I'd give the same look. What? Yeah.
She's such a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she did a good job with this. And the liquid on this shot looks really well integrated as well, like the liquid simulation coming off of the snake.
Mother,
Mommy.
Did you ever see the second Ninja Turtles film?
I think so.
The Ooze. Remember when like those monsters come out? They're like, "Mama,
That's
Mama."
Right.
He's like, Mama. "They're babies."
Oh man,
Mama. Mama. Anyways, back to this. Mama is not happy about
So what I think makes these shots really cool is all the extra stuff they have going on. They have these kind of particle stuff flowing around. And they have the liquids. Beautiful. The animation is really beautiful. Yeah, it just kind of flows, especially if you're watching in real time. It just kind of
flows. It's like cursive writing almost. You know what I mean?
Like cursive writing.
Beautiful cursive writing. Oh, and then it's just like the cursive writing goes away. It's like this beautiful thing, and then you get to tell like the animation of it, like stabbing it, is so quick and jagged, where it's so different than it flying.
Still really cool detail animation around where it's contacting
beautiful
the body.
Model.
Yeah, really cool. Like just where it's
almost looks like a baby shark.
Suction. Yeah, it does look like a.
That's still in the egg or something like that kind of thing. Because I know because of all my research of baby sharks and eggs. Oh my gosh. None.
Yeah. So
is that what it's called? UI display?
User interface. Yeah. If it's heads up, like if it's on a screen, it's a heads up display like that's what they got from cockpits and pilots and stuff. But you could say this is kind of a heads up display, but because you don't have to look down.
Hands-on display.
Hands-on display. So let's take a look. So I think this stuff looks really cool. Fantastic. You got really, really cool stuff in Prometheus where it's like these layered 3D models, but it's all like almost like dot matrix. Do you think this is too? Sometimes I feel like this was almost maybe even too clean, but it gives you an idea of like, okay, how would you control this without actually having throttle and things like that? Do you think this looks too clean for the universe, or do you think this fits in pretty well?
I think inside the ship it fits in pretty well, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes I thought it was a little bit too clean,
like the
but it still looks cool.
Of the past kind of thing.
I mean, that's true. I mean, you would think you would get a little bit more interactive light. It's funny when you see it on his face.
It would be more glitchy, huh? Because it's crashed. That's
what I think it was. It's too. When I said too clean, it wasn't what I was saying. I was thinking more glitchy. Yeah,
okay.
that's maybe what threw off for me. Yeah, I just thought it was.
We need more like Blade Runner glitch.
But that's maybe wrong of us to compare it to. Like Blade Runner is definitely a more grungy universe where this is
pretty grungy. Have you seen Marcus? He's like coughing up eyeballs and.
But the answer, like they have these clean, shiny suits. You would think that like the mechanical stuff would be a little bit cleaner. So maybe this fits well.
But it has crashed and things have been removed. And look, there you go. It's glitching now.
Yeah, it's glitching a little bit more as they're going fast. So interactive light on the shots of him. Yeah, just
fantastic actor.
Yeah. And this stuff looks really. I just love it when you have this kind of ambient light that is your primary light source. It's really cool.
You think they went to that planet and just like threw a GoPro down?
They said, we can model this and render it, or we can just go there on location and just make it easy on us. And so I think they just went to Planet Snake Spores.
Kelper 20.
Oh, that's right. I actually had a name. I was just making up Planet Snake Spores. Yes. So what about this background? What do you think? Do you think that's almost like
projector?
That could be projection, like where they have front projection.
It could be. I was just thinking about that. It could, because you see the little dots and everything.
Yeah, you do totally see the dots on there.
And they're looking at it through a projection, basically, too.
Yeah.
Because there's no windows.
And that would be smart. I mean, when it's going by that fast, you don't really notice.
And you get the interactive lighting too.
Yeah, which would be really a benefit.
But unless they did like
I think this looks so
Mandalorian
cool.
stuff.
They did some shots like this in a Prometheus as well, where this little orb is going down a cave, and it's like a greenish bluish light, and it illuminates the cave it's going.
And they did that with Lord of the Rings too, right? When they're falling down.
The wide shot. So this is one of my favorite shots in the series, and this reminds me of the beginning of the Two Towers when the Balrog and Gandalf fall down, and you just have in this it's bottom lighting. It's the lighting's coming from the lava, but in that one it's they're illuminating the cave or the cavern, which is really but such a cool shot.
By the way, the music's very similar.
Yeah, the music is kind of similar.
Gandalf's Lament song or something like that.
And so you kind of get a little bit of, was this what they did kind of in Revenge of the Sith, where they had lava footage and they're just comping it in.
It's like gravity, like pulling it almost.
Yeah, and it was really cool in Revenge of the Sith. They actually went on location to where a real volcano was actually going off and got all that footage. I'm sure.
Wasn't everything like backwards too?
In one shot, they accidentally had things in an early version of it. They had backwards. This is kind of a cool shot. They have a slow rotation on the camera, and then they have the pod coming towards it.
The egg.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff.
Going into the.
So what do you think? Do you think this is so? I think these clouds, you could probably get away with a 2D effect if you layered it in, but that could be 3D as well. What about the lava down here? Do you think this is like a complex 3D simulation?
I just think it's a model.
You think it's a model and they're just comping stuff on top of it?
Yep.
We did do something in a class I had with some students. They wanted to recreate that Revenge of the Sith shot, and we did do it's a food additive, and we did plexiglass and lit it from below. It looked really cool. We'll have to show some of that footage. It's really, really cool.
That would be really cool if it is practical.
That would be really cool if it is. And then we get several minutes later, we get it going the opposite direction. Do you think they flipped? I'm curious. Do you think that's a different map painting of down here, or do you think they just flipped it and reused it? Yeah, I'm curious if they reused that or not. It would be smart of them to just reuse it because there's no way we'd have noticed.
It's different. It's different.
That one? Is that one different?
Yeah, it's different.
Or they could have just the same matte paint, but just drag around the holes and just scale them and rotate them. But really cool. I love how you get the lighting here. They might have
also just built the whole inner thing in 3D.
They could have. I mean, because you do have really good lighting here. And once I guess you have the basic surface, you can just kind of put these 3D holes.
It's probably done in Unreal, John.
Wow. Really, really cool. I really like these shots. I mean, you can tell they definitely spent a lot of time and money on these last number of shots.
The budget.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So we're going to be doing a series of these. We've been covering The Boys. We're going to be covering Raised by Wolves, especially since we didn't cover all the episodes because, again, John's fault. He had to catch up on episodes.
It's all right. We still love John.
Thank you, I guess. All right, so you guys, let us know if you have sequences you'd like us to try and take a look at. Again, we're not guaranteeing we're going to get it right, but it's fun to try and break it down.
We're probably not going to get it right.
A lot of really cool matte paintings in this season, a lot of cool shot-by-shot decisions on how they're going to go about it. If you guys have videos on actual visual effects breakdowns, we'd love to see those, so post those. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. Check out AsArt.space for the audio video links, and we'll see you on the next As Art.